My father packed my things into trash bags, tossing them into the hallway like I was a tenant evicted overnight. I didn't cry, I stared numb, as Kate stood silent behind him. Aunt Bonnie opened her door without asking questions. That was 7 months ago. Today, that same man sits across from me trembling, asking if I'll ever call him dad again. He doesn't deserve that title yet. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. The day Kate got accepted into Columbia, Dad cracked his first real smile in years. He hugged her, spun her in circles, and said she was his pride. I stood in the doorway, holding my community college acceptance letter, waiting. He glanced at me, nodded, and walked away. That moment split me open. Aunt Bonnie saw the hurt on my face later and whispered, "You matter too, Lily, always. Dad once told me, you're lucky to have a roof over your head." After I asked why Kate got new clothes while mine came from donation bins, I laughed it off in front of him. But later I scrubbed my hands raw, trying to erase the feeling of not belonging. Aunt Bonnie noticed the red skin and gently placed lotion in my room. Don't let them convince you you're less. When Mom forgot my birthday again, I said nothing. Kate baked me a small cake and brought it to Bonnie's house. She said, "I know it's not the same." That I remember. Her smile trembled. That night, Dad posted a family photo, Kate and him beaming at a dinner I wasn't invited to. Bonnie turned off my phone and hugged me tightly. "You're not invisible here," she said, but I still felt erased. Helen, the family therapist, asked us to write down who we trusted most. I wrote Bonnie without hesitation. Dad peeked at mine and scoffed, whispering, "Of course." Kate hesitated before scribbling something down. Later she admitted she had written my name. I didn't know how to respond. "You were always the brave one," she said. That night, I sat by myself wondering if I mattered to Kate. Why had she stayed silent so long? At the family session, Marcus claimed he never played favorites. I laughed out loud. The room froze. "Then why did you throw me out but kept Kate?" I asked. He looked to Mom, who stared at the floor. Helen nodded slowly, letting the silence sit. Later, Tyler pulled me aside and said, "He's afraid of you now. You don't need him to be whole." But why did part of me still want his approval? Bonnie found old photos, me with a bruised knee, Kate beside me, both of us grinning. "He used to love you both," she whispered. I stared at the image, confused. When had that shifted? That night Mom called, her voice strained. "Your father's trying," she said. I asked, "Is he sorry, or just scared?" She didn't answer. I hung up feeling more alone than ever. Can someone change when they never acknowledge the damage? Kate gave me an old journal we used to share, our childhood secrets scribbled in gel pen. One entry from me read, "I wish Dad liked me like he does, Kate." Underneath, Kate had written, "He's wrong and you're amazing." I held it for hours, the ink smudging beneath my fingers. That night, I heard Dad tell Helen, "I never knew Lily felt that way." I wanted to scream. How could he not know after everything? Helen asked us to bring a symbol of trust. I brought the chipped unicorn figurine Bonnie gave me after I moved in. She reminded me I was magic. I said, "Dad brought a faded photo of us at a beach before Kate was born." He said, "That was the last time I felt like a good dad." I watched Kate's face crumble. If he remembered love, why had he buried it under silence and pride? The room was thick with words unsaid. Helen asked, "What do you need to hear today?" I looked at Dad. "Say you were wrong." He blinked, lips parting, but no sound came. Kate reached for my hand. Bonnie nodded at me, proud. "If you can't say it now," I whispered, "then stop pretending." I stood, heart pounding. For once, I wasn't waiting to be chosen. I had already chosen myself. After I left the session early, Kate followed. "He's never said sorry to anyone." She said, "Are you asking for it?" Shook him. I didn't reply. I sat on Bonnie's porch swing, legs curled under me, the chipped unicorn in my hands. Kate sat beside me. "Maybe he never will." I nodded slowly. "Then I'll stop needing it." Saying that hurt, but it also felt like freedom. The air finally tasted like mine again. The next session, Dad brought a baby blanket. "Mine. I kept this," he said. Didn't know why. His hands trembled. Maybe I was afraid of remembering who I failed. I didn't respond. Bonnie squeezed my shoulder. Kate cried quietly. Helen let the silence linger. In that moment, he wasn't my father, just a man holding regret. And I wasn't his daughter. I was the woman who had learned to live without his love. Tyler, usually silent, stood up during group. "Your silence nearly broke her," he told Marcus. "Do you know how hard Lily worked just to breathe some days?" I couldn't look up, but the room sat in stunned quiet. Marcus didn't argue. He simply lowered his head. Later he placed the blanket beside me and walked away. That night, I didn't cry. I just stared at the stars, feeling something start to shift. Helen asked us each to say one hope for the future. I said, "To feel safe with family again." Dad looked up, eyes wet. "I hope I can earn that." It wasn't enough, but it wasn't nothing. Kate placed a hand on my back. "We'll build that together," she said. And for the first time in years, I didn't flinch when someone said, "family." I almost believed we could heal something broken. Mom called unexpectedly. "Boy's thick with nerves." "I left him," she said. I froze. "After therapy, I saw what he did to you." To all of us, her words tumbled out. "I'm staying with my sister in Nevada." For years, I thought she was just a bystander, but now she was taking a stand. Bonnie raised an eyebrow when I told her. "Didn't see that coming," she said. "Neither did I, but maybe change was contagious." Bonnie sat me down with a worn envelope. "You should see this," she said. Inside were letters handwritten, from Dad to Bonnie, never sent. "I don't know how to love Lily right." One read. "Another, I think I'm ruining her." Tears blurred my vision. "He asked me to raise you better than he could." Funny said, I had begged for crumbs, not knowing there was a silent apology buried in someone else's drawer for years. Kate came over, holding her phone. "Dad wants to talk, but only to you," she said. I rolled my eyes. "Why now?" She hesitated. "Because he read your essay, the one about being the forgotten daughter. It went viral." I blinked. I had submitted it anonymously to a writing contest. Kate added, "People are sharing it everywhere." He said it broke him. For once, my pain had echoed beyond our house and demanded to be seen. When I finally answered his call, Marcus's voice cracked. "I never wanted you to feel unloved." I didn't respond. He continued, "But I see now I failed you." I saw strength and mistook it for rebellion. I could hear his breathing, waiting. "I won't ask for forgiveness," he said. "Just a chance to earn it, for the first time." He didn't make excuses, and for once, I didn't hang up. I just listened. That was enough. Tyler showed me a comment thread under my essay. Hundreds of people wrote things like, "I thought I was alone." And he said what I couldn't. Some shared their own stories. I read for hours, tears coming and going. You gave them a voice, Tyler said. For the first time, my pain became purpose. I wasn't just healing myself, I was showing others it was possible. Maybe my story wasn't just about surviving, it was about lighting a path. Mrs. Williams pulled me aside after dinner. Tyler's stronger with you in his life, she said. You taught him how to love better. I blinked, surprised to me. She nodded. You didn't let your pain make you bitter, that's rare. Later that night, Tyler whispered. I want us to be a family one day. I didn't panic, I smiled. Maybe this broken heart of mine had space to build something new, something better than what I came from. Bonnie handed me a sealed envelope with my name and Dad's shaky handwriting. Inside, a short letter. I loved you clumsily. Willie, you deserve better. He had signed it with a crooked heart. I clutched it to my chest, unsure whether to cry or laugh. It wasn't an apology, it was a beginning. Kate hugged me tightly and whispered, you're not the broken one. For the first time, I believed her. I wasn't unlovable, just unseen for too long. During one session, Helen read a poem aloud, anonymous but raw. I recognized my own words. You submitted that? I asked Bonnie. She smiled. It deserved to be heard. Marcus sat quietly, listening. When Helen finished, he whispered, I didn't know she wrote like that. I stared at him. You never asked. It wasn't cruel, just true. That day, he listened differently. I think, for the first time, he saw me as someone more than just his disappointment. At the community center, I was asked to speak about writing through trauma. I hesitated but said yes. As I shared my story, I saw heads nodding, tears forming. Afterward, a teen girl hugged me. Your dad sounds like mine, she whispered. But now I know I can survive him too. That night, I told Bonnie maybe all that pain wasn't wasted. She smiled. It became your gift. My wounds had turned into someone else's roadmap. Dad started volunteering at a local shelter quietly, without fanfare. Kate told me. He said it helps him remember who he wanted to be. I visited once, watched him serve food to strangers with a softness I never saw at home. He didn't see me. I didn't speak, but something in me shifted. Maybe people don't change overnight. Maybe they just start trying little by little. That day, I stopped waiting for a perfect apology. I walked into Bonnie's kitchen to find Marcus fixing a cabinet. Didn't want you using that drawer and it fall apart, he muttered. He didn't meet my eyes. Thanks, I said, small, awkward, honest. Later, Bonnie nudged me, smirking. He asked if he could help somehow. It wasn't redemption, but it was effort. And after everything, effort mattered. That moment didn't erase the past, but it added a line to the story, one that hinted at hope. One afternoon, I found Dad watching old home videos in Bonnie's living room. Baby me giggled on screen, arms stretched toward the camera. He didn't notice me behind him. You were always brave, he whispered to the screen. I was just too broken to see it. I stepped back before he turned. It wasn't time yet, but hearing those words meant for no one but the past gave me something I didn't know I still needed: acknowledgement. At a family dinner, Marcus asked if he could bless the meal. We all blinked. For second chances, he said softly. His voice cracked, but he continued, for the daughters we failed, and the courage they had to keep showing up. I stared at my plate. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was humility. And that night, for the first time in years, I felt like I was eating at a table where I belonged. Kate gave me a framed picture of us at the community center, me speaking, her grinning in the crowd. I'm proud of you, she said. I smiled. You always were my first audience. She laughed. To still am. At bond, strained for years, now felt sturdy. We weren't just sisters, we were co-survivors of the same storm, now anchoring each other. That frame sat on my desk, a daily reminder healing was messy, but it was happening. On baby Bonnie's first birthday, I held her as she giggled at the unicorn figurine, the same one Aunt Bonnie gave me, now cleaned and polished. Marcus sat across the room, watching quietly. I didn't look away. This child would never know the silence we grew up with. She'd know safety and love and maybe one day, stories of how healing is hard but possible. She gripped my finger tightly. I smiled. This was where change began. I sat on Bonnie's porch swing, the unicorn in my hand, and whispered, we made it. The past still echoed, but it didn't define me anymore. Kate brought me tea, smiled, and said, you're not the same girl they left behind. She was right. I'd become someone who didn't just survive the storm but built shelter for others in it. That was the real legacy, our healing, lived and shared. At the community workshop, I watched a teen girl stand up and read her first story. Her voice trembled, but she finished strong. Afterward, she ran into my arms. Thank you for making this space, she whispered. I hugged her tighter. This was it, my why. Not revenge, not validation. Legacy. I didn't rewrite my childhood, but I was shaping someone else. And that mattered more than any apology I'd never hear. Marcus started a men's group for fathers who felt they had failed. We talk about trying, he told me once. I didn't join, I didn't need to. But knowing he was helping others face their shame made me nod. He couldn't fix what he broke, but maybe he was learning to build something better. That was enough for now. On a quiet morning, I watched baby Bonnie toddle toward me, arms wide behind her. Kate smiled. She adores you. I scooped the child up, heart full. Good, I said, because I'm not going anywhere. The unicorn glinted in the sunlight nearby. We had built something lasting, imperfect, but real. A future where love wasn't earned through pain, but given freely. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe to check out more stories on my channel.